Home Depot had a rocking 2021 Halloween season, but what can they have in store for us for 2022? Here are my predictions. For everything scary, I'm GMHaunts, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my second Halloween 2022 predictions video. Now, if you've been tuned into my channel, you probably know that just a couple days ago, I did my Morris Costumes 2022 prediction video, where I kicked off this whole, I guess I can call it, 2022 prediction series. Now, I have multiple companies that I want to predict what they're going to be doing for the 2022 season, and like I just said, I kicked it off with Morris Costumes, and for today, I'm turning my attention to Home Depot. Now, if you're a Halloween fan or someone who considers themselves in the Halloween community, you probably know that Home Depot had a very spectacular 2021 season. They moved up in the rankings, I guess you could say, of fan ranking of the Halloween community. They even became, I guess, competitors in the community with Spirit Halloween, our main company. They definitely showed that they could probably compete with Spirit this past season, and it makes us think, what will Home Depot have for us next year in terms of animatronics and their displays? Today I break down everything that I believe we can see from Home Depot for the 2022 season and what possibly they have planned for us to compete with companies like Halloween Express, Party City, and even the big deal, Spirit Halloween. Let's kick it off with my Home Depot my first prediction for Home Depot 2022. So for the 2021 Halloween season, we saw Home Depot implement mini displays, I guess you can call them themes, or ISCs as they would go by at Spirit Halloween, into their locations to display their animatronics. Again, the same strategy Spirit Halloween uses with their ISCs. Now, the mini displays we saw for 2021 were Graven Bones, Rotten Patch, which Rotten Patch was the big one, and then we also saw some pieces from Dreadful Dreams, but it didn't really have its own display, and there was also some pieces from their Halloween Classics that was on their website. The two main ones were Graven Bones and the Rotten Patch being mini displays in Home Depot locations. Now, if you remember, Rotten Patch was more just like a backdrop. It sort of had this piece of cardboard, and then it had like a fence around it. It had some pumpkins. There was animatronics like in the fencing, but it really wasn't that big of like a display. It was more focused around the animatronics and not the display itself. Now, not all stores feature this display. For example, my local store never got the full display. They got the animatronics, but they didn't set up the display. Most Home Depot locations did, though, so it was sort of split up. You either saw it or you didn't. There was no mini version. It was either he had the full thing or he didn't have it at all. Now, my first prediction for 2022 Home Depot is I believe Home Depot will be debuting some sort of big display or big theme for the locations in 2022. Now, obviously, like I mentioned in the beginning, we saw Home Depot try to combat Spirit for the 2021 season with bigger animatronics, a bigger lineup, and working with SVI, Seasonal Visions International, to put together a really spectacular lineup that was really loved by the Halloween community. Now, truthfully, I believe that the next step to try and combat Spirit is actually building your own displays in stores and trying to compete with Spirit's ISCs, their in-store experiences. Now, we saw last year that most of Home Depot's animatronics ran under the same theme. We had a lot of medieval stuff. We had a lot of kind of Reaper-y stuff. We had a lot of Phantom stuff. It all kind of fit under the same category of animatronic. I believe for Home Depot 2022, we are going to see a main collection, if you will, of animatronics that will be put into one main display in the store. I think this would be about the size of Rotten Patch and Graven Bones we saw last year combined. A big display that actually has a theme to it, possibly something maybe like a medieval theme, like what we probably order. Probably something that could include a bunch of animatronics. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe something like a medieval theme or a castle where you have at least like 10 animatronics in one display. I could see Home Depot doing this for 2022, and that's my first prediction. I do see Home Depot trying to put together more of a theme and more of a display than they did last year. We saw Rotten Patch last year, but I think it's going to be bigger for 2022, and I think they're going to make it more like Spirit's ISCs to try and combat their Halloween sales and be able to display their decorations and animatronics even better in stores and not just have them only in mini displays like Rotten Patch was for 2021, and I expect to see something bigger, like a big theme and a big display for 2022. Now let's take a look at my next Home Depot 2022 prediction. So my next prediction is the one that I am the most confident in. This is one that I really believe we're going to see based off what they've done in the past 2 years, and that is another 12-foot prop. Now, if you know anything about Halloween or anything about the Halloween community, you know that Home Depot's 12-foot skeleton has become basically at this point a staple of Halloween. The thing sold out so well for Home Depot, easily their best-selling Halloween decoration by far. It absolutely tore up the Halloween world. Regular people bought it for their yards. Collectors absolutely loved it. So much so that released in 2020. For 2021, we saw the Inferno skeleton, pumpkin skeleton, get released. That was a reskin of that skeleton, except it was a pumpkin now. With also, it had digital eyes. It was slightly different. It had LEDs in the body, a little bit different, but basically a reskin of the 12-foot skeleton. Now, that one did not sell as well, but it did sell very, very well as too, just not as good as the original model. Now, even last year, in its second year, the 12-foot skeleton sold absolutely fantastically. It sold out instantly online once again when it was restocked, and the same thing happened with the Inferno pumpkin skeleton. It sold out instantly. These 12-foot props have proven to be very, very good sellers for Home Depot. Now, that being said, Home Depot has sort of become now a well-known thing that they are the creator of the 12-foot prop, and I believe that for 2022, we're going to see another version of a 12-foot prop. Now, like I just mentioned, for 2 consecutive years now, we saw 12-foot props. We saw the original 12-foot skeleton in 2020, and then last year in 2021, we saw the reskin of the Inferno pumpkin skeleton. I believe that this year we will get our third Inferno, or I shouldn't say Inferno, because I don't know if that's what it's going to be, but I think this year we will get our third consecutive 12-foot prop. My prediction is that we're going to see some sort of Grim Reaper. I could see Home Depot and SBI putting together maybe a 12-foot prop very similar to the original model of the skeleton, except this time maybe you would have a more decrepit face, maybe some moss growing on it, maybe holding like a huge 12-foot sickle. I think maybe it would be something not as drastic of a change that the Inferno pumpkin skeleton was, and maybe more similar to the regular ordinary 12-foot skeleton, just with a couple differences. I could really see Home Depot maybe building a really realistic version of the 12-foot skeleton, maybe having moss coming off of him like I just mentioned, maybe a more realistic body for a little bit of a more expensive price, because I think it would sell if it had that 12-foot stature that we saw for 2 years now. I think Home Depot is going to want to capitalize on these awesome sales. They've really figured out that the 12-foot skeleton and 12-foot props are selling absolutely like astronomical numbers in the Halloween world right now, and I think Home Depot would not be very smart to skip out on that for 2022, and I think SBI and Home Depot will put together at least one more for the 2022 season, and I hope it's a Grim Reaper, because I think that would be a really, really cool idea and get them a lot more sales. Let's take a look at my third Home Depot 2022 prediction. The Dark Jester was one of the most well-known and best-selling animatronics Home Depot had for the 2021 season. It was a clown animatronic, which obviously, it doesn't sound great at first. Haunters have been trying to get rid of clowns for years now, but Home Depot threw us a clown and a jester that absolutely was fantastic. People really enjoyed it, and he sold really well. He was considered one of the best clowns of the 2021 season from any Halloween company, and that's pretty much that's a big thing to say, considering this is one of the first clowns we saw from Home Depot that was a completely original and not reskin idea. Now, truthfully, I believe my next prediction is that we will see a reskin or a recolor of the Dark Jester for the 2022 season. Again, he sold really well. Haunters really, really liked him, and even I did. He was an absolutely incredible prop. He had a really, really cool set of audio. He was a really unique idea because we don't see a lot of jesters, but he's sort of a clown, he's sort of a jester, so it was good because it was a mixture of both worlds. Some people love clowns, some people hate them, and I think both groups of people were able to love the Dark Jester. He had a really, really cool latex face. SBI did a really, really good job putting him together, and he had a really cool pose that we have seen on no other animatronics before. I think Home Depot is going to give him a new set of colors or a reskin, similar to what we saw with the Jack-in-the-Box. We saw him come out in 2020, and then last year in 2021 he had a new color variant. I think we're going to see a similar situation with the Dark Jester, where he came out last year and we're going to get a new color in 2022, because again, I think it's another idea that Home Depot can capitalize to get more sales. I think people will enjoy it, and I think you can do a lot of things with his colors. Maybe a black and white variant, maybe I don't even know, maybe like a black and blue variant. There's a lot you could do with it. A white and red would be really cool. There's a lot you can do with it, and I think it would be an awesome thing to see a new version of the Dark Jester. Even if he was only online only, I could see that happening, a reskin or a recolor, and I could definitely see him being an online only, not dropped into stores. But either way, I could still definitely see that happening. Let's take a look at my next Home Depot 2022 prediction. So my next theory is another one that I am pretty confident in. Not only though do I predict this for Home Depot, I also predict this for Spirit Halloween. Wink wink, watch out for my Spirit Halloween 2022 predictions. That's coming out very soon. But my next Home Depot prediction is that we will see an animatronic featuring some sort of new technology for Home Depot 2022. Now, I don't really have a lot of information to back this one up. I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I don't have a lot of information to give you right now. I just predict that we're going to see an animatronic come out for Home Depot that has some sort of new technology, and I have a feeling it'll be manufactured by SVI. Now, part of the reason why I have this theory is that Home Depot has been working a lot with Seasonal Visions International, SVI, the manufacturer, for the past couple years now. And after 2021, we saw that SVI was building a lot of new technology. For example, this wasn't Home Depot, but it was Spirit. We saw them put together Grimm, who was the first ever servo motor animatronic sold at Spirit Halloween. After Grimm, I feel like we could see a new technology in Home Depot. No, I'm not saying this could be a new technology we've never seen before. Maybe we'll get a servo motor animatronic at Home Depot this year, and that is still considered a new technology because we only saw it once at Spirit for 2021. But I could definitely see Home Depot possibly getting a servo motor prop from SVI this year, maybe something like a scissor mechanism like we saw Mr. Dark at Spirit. Either way, I could definitely see a new technology being implemented into Home Depot. I think they're going to be looking for some sort of new way to get some sort of new animatronic idea to get sales and to compete with Spirit and Halloween Express and Party City and Distortions and all these companies. I think Home Depot is going to be looking for a way to sort of, again, spike the Halloween world, just like how they did with the 12-foot stuff. I have a feeling they're looking for some new ideas and some new ways to engage haunters, and I think a new technology would definitely be the way to do that, and even scissor mechanisms or servo motors would be the way to go. I think a servo motor animatronic at Home Depot could be really unique and would definitely get some good sales if it was done well, and maybe like a 12-foot with a servo motor. That would be absolutely incredible, and I think Home Depot is definitely going to be looking into a new technology for 2022. Let's take a look at my final Home Depot 2022 season prediction. So my final 2022 Home Depot prediction for right now is that we will see a witch animatronic in the main lineup. So last year at Home Depot, we didn't see any new witches. We did see the witch with the spell book. I'm completely blanking out on the name, so forgive me. But we didn't see any new unique ideas. Honestly, I believe that we will see a unique witch for Home Depot 2022. Last year, we saw the man-eating plant. We saw the Dark Jester, like I was just talking about. We saw the Frankenstein return. We saw a Fairy of the Dead. We saw the Reaper. We saw a lot of like classic Halloween ideas, again, such as Fairy of the Dead, the Reaper, the Inferno Reaper, I should say. Man-eating plant was something a lot of fans wanted. We saw the Pumpkin Twins, which were pumpkins. So a witch is a classic Halloween idea, and I think Home Depot is trying to do classic stuff because it sells well to regular people and haunters, which is why I believe the 12-foot skeleton works so well. That being said, I think we're going to see a unique witch prop featured in the lineup for Home Depot 2022 because a witch is a generic Halloween idea, but it can be made unique, such as we saw a Soothsayer witch more as costumes for 2021, and it was a really unique take on witches. I could see Home Depot doing something like that, where they take a generic idea and a classic idea like a witch, and then turn it into something unique. Maybe even like a 12-foot witch. Like, that would be insane if Home Depot did that. But I could definitely see them taking the idea of a witch and making it something cool and then having it sell really, really well. I don't think we're going to see like a generic witch. I think we would, if anything, we would see a really unique idea, something we've never seen before, possibly like I was just saying with new technology, possibly a witch animatronic featuring a new technology, maybe like a lunging motion that we've never seen before, maybe like digital eyes, we've seen that, but I don't know, I could definitely see a witch animatronic being featured in the main lineup in stores. Maybe if they do the thing like I was saying at first about a big main display, I could see a witch being featured in that display. Again, maybe we do see a 12-foot witch. I just was talking about another 12-foot prop. Maybe we see a witch version. I don't know. I just believe we're going to see some sort of witch instance elements in Home Depot's lineup, because I think they want classic ideas, and the classic idea is a witch, and that would be the perfect idea for them, for an animatronic or a brand new prop for 2022, which is why I believe we're going to see a witch at Home Depot. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going for my Home Depot 2022 predictions. Again, I have a lot more predictions coming out very, very soon. I have a Spirit Halloween predictions video coming out, which I know is the one that a lot of people have been asking me about, and the one that I have been kind of hyping up for a while now. That one is coming out very, very soon, so keep an eye out if you're interested in Spirit predictions, because I'm going to have that either next or the one after the next one I want to do. I'm not sure yet, but I will have it very, very soon. I have a lot more ideas for the 2022 season, and I'm just so excited to get it started, which is why I've been doing these videos so early. And let me know what you think of my predictions, and write your own down in the comments below. Ladies and gentlemen, remember as always, for everything scary, I'm GMHaunts. I'll see you guys later for more Home Depot 2022 videos. Goodbye.